Good evening from Vietnam. Good morning from Costa Rica, Mr. Felicio. And thank you so much for having me and Vivian. This is her first time joining to the interview together with me in the Inside Sharing Show. And thank you so much for for taking your Saturday morning, joining
Yeah.
and sharing your expertise with the audience here in Vietnam. Okay, so thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, my friend. I really like the work that you are doing, and I hope I can contribute a little bit with it as well. And nice to
Good.
meet you, Vivian. Nice meeting
Nice
you.
to meet you too. My pleasure to be here.
We would thought that if we knew Portuguese, then we might understand a lot more what you've been sharing. So next time we're expecting to have more video in English, so that it's fair for me and the audience here to learn from your latest talk program also, Mr. Felicio. Okay. Um, so to start with,
You don't need to use Mister. You can say Felicio only. Okay?
all righty, Felicio. So a couple of weeks ago, we saw the video that you're talking about the word VUCA and now how it's transformed to the next stage. So since you're here on the show, we would love to have you share about what it is and then what has been transformed into. Can you do that for us?
Yes. Again, it's only there are some people that analysts and some psychologists that they analyze. So the term VUCA was coined in 1980 by the Army, U.S. Army,
Uh,
for them to go to wars like in Afghanistan, Iraq, to train the soldiers to be ready for what was volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And that has been used for almost 30 years for the business world as well. So people are saying like you needed to be ready for the volatile world, for the uncertain world. But it was still possible to use data to analyze it for to do the proper forecast. It was still possible to use insights to predict certain things. But with the pandemic that came 18, 20 months ago, things has changed in the world. Lots of things has accelerated, like the virtual world became the normal, the working from home became the normal, and lockdown that I would never imagine that the whole world was
mm,
was put on standstill. There was
mm,
no airport open for a couple of weeks. Airlines that were very strong going bankrupt. Business like hotels, the restaurants closing down, and some that used to exist for generations. So there is this guy in the US that he said, look, VUCA was the past. Now there is this new expression called bunny. And what bunny stands for? B from brittle, it's very fragile. So the systems that we know today, uh, that we had the illusion that were very strong, can be companies, can be entities, can be systems. They are very fragile. They can from overnight go bankrupt, broke, break. So that is a new thing because we use it to call like the blue chips, the companies that were very solid and strong, they will last forever. And we start seeing that the whole category has changed. Another important thing from this bunny is the A, anxious. The world became very anxious because
mm,
of this pandemic, the blur of working from home, not having a division. In the beginning, everybody enjoying. But I even posted an article about the risk of the new Coke. Coca-Cola, I don't know, 20 years ago, saw that Pepsi Cola was starting to gain some market share. And then they did a blind test and they decided to change the taste of Coca-Cola, be sweeter, closer to Pepsi, because that was the good result. And it ended up that it was a big failure. They called it the new Coke back then. It was a global launch. And why was a big failure? One thing is to try a sip, like in Pepsi, and maybe you like the taste. It's like the virtual, the whole working from home. Everybody in the beginning, oh, I'm enjoying. I have more flexibility. I don't lose time in commuting. So it was good, but that was just the sip.
Ah,
If you start drinking too much Coca-Cola, the old one, that was too sweet, they saw that the sales became going down. So I wrote, I think almost 1 year ago, about the risk of this virtual work, the working from home, be the new Coke, because they needed to go back, bring the original Coca-Cola in order to succeed. Because one thing is you try for a short period of time and it's great. But then the problems started to come. You lose interaction, you lose face to face, you lose the energy that one person exchange with other when you meet face to face. So I back then, that is 1 year ago, I wrote that for me the best solution would be a hybrid world
yeah.
that people can choose to go to the office, or they define 2 3 days at the office, 2 3 days at work. But several companies, big companies, I know one company in Brazil that last year became officeless because they had a rental of their headquarters expiring, and they said everybody's working from home. Why do we need the office? So a big multinational in Brazil last year, Mondelez International, they stayed a few months without office. When would you imagine that happening 2 3 years ago? That was impossible. So I think, but then they realized maybe we don't need an office for 100% of the employees. They might have a smaller office. They can plan shifts, but that brought anxiety as well. And anxiety is, I think, the big issue that everybody's living today. I don't know if you have heard about what is happening in the US. That is called the Great Resignation. More than 40% of the employees are thinking of quitting their job or changing because they cannot cope with the anxiety, the pressure. And that is because we never prepared the leaders to work in the soft skills side. Normally, you see lots of companies that promote employees based on the hard skills. Oh, they very smart, strategic thinking. And yes, they invest a little bit in the emotional intelligence, but in the leadership side, but not in the personal side. So I don't know the data from Vietnam, but I don't think it changes much in the world. The amount of people or employees burnout is the maximum level of stress. So you have the good stress, that stress that makes you feel uh, awake, that if you have some possible threat or fear, then you get ready. That's a good level of stress because it's for self-protection. It's but if it's happening every day, it's not good because then you will feel tense all the time. The burnout is when it gets the level that you freeze, you don't know what to do, you panic. In Brazil, 40% of the executives, they are in this level of burnout. It's the second country in the world. The first one is Japan. Japan is the first one. I can share the data. This is a global research on this. So anxiety, this it's not a psychologist. I think it's an anthropologist that brought this terminology. He said anxiety will be the biggest issue in the world for the companies. How to deal with anxiety. So this is the new thing. The end of the money is non-linear. So something that in the past, with data, with insights, you could foresee, forecast, predict, now became almost useless. You cannot predict something that you don't know that is coming.
What is
So
the N for?
N is non-linear. That's not
Non-linear.
linear, non-linear. So you cannot find the connection of cause and effect in
Ah.
things. It's not linear. So maybe one thing that used to cause success or problem in the past, not necessarily will happen again in the future, in today's world, because of the anxiety, because of the fragility, because you cannot foresee. We are seeing the fourth or fifth wave of lockdown coming to Europe. So the business can close down despite you have all the data, you might have all the consumer information, but if you cannot go out, if you cannot buy, or if the government is putting a law, or if people are dying, I think we never had the death so close to us at the global level. Yes, during war, you hear, you get worried, but it's in local, it's not everywhere. Now, I doubt you don't know anyone from either from your family or friends or that passed away because of this coronavirus. And the I is that it's not comprehensible, incomprehensible. So you cannot understand. So situations without any sense is popping up. You are seeing people that you believe that the person, like I have a friend, his father celebrated 82 years old on Tuesday, and Saturday he died. Like I said, how come? And because you cannot predict, it's not analyzing the senses or the data, so it's you cannot understand what's happening, and this brings more anxiety. But for me, the biggest letter of this new definition of the world that we are living for me is the anxiety level everywhere is going up. So you are seeing lots of people with depression or anxiety in the world, in the workplace. For me, the companies will need to invest a lot in mental health in the future, not only to keep, but to attract the talent as well. I know that you work for LHH, so for sure you might have some data of this, that companies are starting to look for mental health problem or well-being more than before. I heard recently, even this big group from Richard Branson, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Atlantic, they have Virgin Pools. It's a company that works for well-being. And lots of big organizations are starting to look for that. So this is again, it's more difficult. In summary, in a nutshell, it's very difficult now to predict what will happen. It's not that it's unpredictable. It's not that it's only difficult. You need it to be, and then you ask how to deal with that. I think you need to have a better emotional intelligence. You need to work, and it varies from people for people. I think self-awareness is the first thing. You need to understand we are not the same. You have some strengths, and for sure Vivian has different strengths, and hopefully you as a family or you as a team, you complement each other. So it's not that you will need one type of strength. I believe that in the past, companies used to hire the same profile of professional. So for Salesforce, you get the profile of a good supervisor. That in the MTBI, I don't know if you are aware of this test. MTBI is the XCRM, the guy that is extrovert, the guy that use rational, the guy that is use the method, and the guy that use the rational. It's not the introvert, it's not the intuition. So for sales, you hire that type of person. This is not working anymore because that type of professional that speaks loud, that hit on the table, that let's go, push, push, push. It's not sustainable. The millennials, they don't want a boss like that. They don't. They will not work 14 hours just to achieve a sales target. They need to have a purpose. So that's why the companies now need to find a purpose to get the employees attracted. It's not anymore only the salary, the bonus, or the benefits. Some of these youngsters, they don't think about pension fund. They don't think of working 30 years in the same company. So why I care now? But I care now the purpose of this company. And these things that used to be called fluffy stuff, soft stuff, become more important because you will not be able to control 24/7 your employees because they are in the house. They are with the camera off. You don't know if he is with pajamas or not. You need to change the mindset. It's not the time that you start, it's the deliverable. Are you delivering what is expected? But you need to deliver it happy. It's not that you will deliver it like, oh, another day and having problems to wake up, needing to take medicines to sleep. This is not sustainable. So in my view, how to deal with this funny world is each of us needs to work in our emotional intelligence. For some, might be meditation. For others, might be doing some exercise that you don't think about anything. Some competition exercise that you need to be focused, playing football, soccer, doing some martial arts that you don't think. So you need to relax your mind because this Zoom way of working, team meetings, it stress a lot because you are all the time under the radar screen of someone. And then I even read recently an article. It's okay for you to turn off the camera to reduce a little bit the anxiety that everybody is looking at you. Because when you are in a meeting in the office, it's not everybody looking at you. Everybody is looking to the presentation or to the person that is talking. But here, if you have 12 faces, I'm looking at 12 faces. And if I see someone that is doing this, what that means? Or if I see someone that is sleeping, or so it's stressful, this new way of. I think we need, so for me, the future is first self-awareness, and you have lots of tools that can understand better your strengths. Some are even free. The one that I'm recommending for some of my mentees is the character strengths. It's CSI. I can send the link to you later. You identify your 24 strengths. So you have 24 strengths that was identified by a guy called Ryan Niemek. This is the book about these strengths. I sent the link to you, and I think this test is a free test. It has in more than 100 languages, so you can choose the language to do. You will identify that what are the strengths that it changes for sure. If you are facing a stressful moment, maybe your bravery strength is higher. If you are facing some a down moment, someone close passed by, maybe your strength of gratitude, it varies. But at least identify where you are now. Is there any strength that I should work more? because it's not that you have weakness. The way that they talk, you have strengths in 24 character strengths. Some are higher, some are lower, but we all have it. For sure, for some, one type of strength is better or easier than other, like writing with your right hand or left hand, depends, but you can do it. So I will share with you this link for the test. So that for me is the thing, where I am now. What are the strengths that I need? Like self-control is very important in today's world because it's very easy for us to get demotivated, to not do the things that we need to do. If you put in your mind, I need to exercise, I need to eat better. If you don't have the self-control, if you don't have the perseverance, if it's in the low level, there are exercises to train that, to strengthen those forces. So this is for me the first thing, how to deal with the self-awareness. The other thing is knowing where you are, it's easy to know where to go. So I always talk with my mentees, write down a plan where you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years time. And don't put only material things. Don't put, I want this salary, I want to have a new car, I want to buy a boat, I want to, no. It's good to have some tangible things to put there. I want to be in this position, but put something that I want to be happy, I want to have my family, I want to have my kids, because these goals in the future, and you don't need to print it and put there to watch every day, because then you become anxious as well, thinking too much about the future. It's just an exercise that you do one time. Ideally, you should discuss with those that are close to you, your wife, Vivian, to see if those 1, 5, 10-year plans are aligned, because you cannot put something and then Vivian another one. How? Oh, you agree? Okay, that's this, and then you put in the drawer. But you know that you have the reason that you are waking up early, the reason that you are doing exercise, the reason that you are eating better. There is a bigger reason, a big objective in the future. I'm doing that because I want to enjoy my grandkids. I want to be alive in good health and good condition in the future. I want to have money to pay for the university for my kids. So I am working this job 12 hours, 13 hours, because there is a reason why, an important reason why for me to do this type of things. For me, knowing where you are and having a broader idea, top line, where you want to go, then you can choose many routes. For me, these are the two most important things. And working more, as I mentioned, emotional intelligence. Someone might need therapy because cannot find solution. Someone might need even medicine. I'm not saying that if you are in a level of stress too high, sometimes to reduce that, you might need some support. The thing is, you should not become addicted to it, to rely on that. That should be just a temporary support whilst you strengthen your mind, you strengthen your spirit. So I lived in Sri Lanka for 3 years, and it's a Buddhist country. I learned about this Buddhist philosophy of finding the happy medium, the equilibrium. I think that the recipe for success in life, to really not go 80 or 0. You need to find the happy medium, the balance in life. So I think that's it. I don't know if I only talk it. I like to talk a lot.
So, Thank you so much, and Felicio. Vivian, before she joining the show, she planned a question she would want to ask you. So
You already give you a lot of solutions. It's pretty comprehensive in the world of incomprehensive.
well, the world is fragile now. People have anxiety, things are non-linear, right? And then incomprehensible. So we don't know what's going on. So it goes back to the question that I asked you 2 days ago when we say, hey, let's go for a talk, Mr. Felicio. Basically, when I run this show, there's a lot of people ask me, how do people plan for the future? Let's say when you were like 20 years old, get out of university, went for Shell. How did you plan for your future? Let's say, so at least you had somewhere to head in. The people want that kind of advice, and even like me and Vivian, we also need that kind of advice to see how can we projectile our 10 years from now in a little bit more accurate in the Bami world now. In your opinion, can we plan that?
Okay, 30 years ago was easier because if you worked in a good university, if you got a good job, you are done. But the problem is that that was the way of my father, my grandparent worked, and don't ask too much question. But we did not have the level of information, the comparison that social media brings to us. I think the anxiety side as well is because maybe when I started working, I used it to meet my colleagues from university once a year in a barbecue, and then you know that, oh, someone has a new car, oh, he got promoted. Now you get it instantly, and you don't know if it's true or not, because nobody will post on the internet, oh, I got fired. They only put nice things, nice pictures, and then you start feeling bad. So today is more difficult than used to be. You enter in the company 30 years ago, and you can work for life, and then you retire. And then you plan for the kids, you save. Today, I think it's harder because of the social media pressure, but I believe that you need to be open-minded because I don't know what will be the professional in 5 years' time. So for me, the hard skills, it's important for you to know, but you can get fingertip most of the hard skills in the future. You start to have computers that they are more accurate than professional. So for me, the attitude, the can-do attitude, as I mentioned in our first call, to the ability to learn, unlearn, and learn even faster, that will be the key skill for anyone to succeed. It's like in this world, you are playing a game, but the rule of the game changes during the game many times. So you are very good playing with your feet, soccer, but then the referee comes, now you can use your hands. And now you cannot use your foot anymore. Now you need to use only your head. And so if you stop and start complaining and then come to talk with the judge, someone else is not complaining, is getting the ball and is scoring. So the attitude that for me is the most important one now is the growth mindset. And there is even some research that I read recently. A teacher came to a class and said, look, you have a puzzle. You know what's puzzle, no? To solve.
Yes.
So the whole classroom, he gave the puzzle to solve, and they all solved it. And he all pleased everybody. Oh, you are great, you solved the puzzle. But then he split half of the classroom to one room, the other half to another room, and said to one half, he said, you solved the puzzle because you are very intelligent. You are intelligent. You solved it. To the other one, he told me, you solved it because you put a lot of effort to solve it. You have put a lot of effort. You don't quit. Then he gave 3 new puzzles to each of the teams. One easy, one medium, one hard. The intelligent team, the one that were labeled as you are intelligent, so they spent 80% of the time in the easy ones, and was not able to solve the medium and the hard one. In the other hand, the other team that they got the label of you put a lot of effort, you have a lot of strength, they invested 80% of the time in the difficult one. They tried hard because they wanted to and solved the difficult one and solved the other 2 as well in less time because they were easier. So what is the summary of this? The team that consider themselves, I am intelligent, they don't want to fail. They don't want to lose their status. So they prefer not even to try because they said, I was labeled as intelligent, I am intelligent. The others were labeled like you put a lot of effort, you did it because they have a growth mindset. I can try. If I don't do it, okay, I can fail. But they are the ones. So for me, the future will need more growth mindset type of talent than the intelligent one. And how they get that label? Oh, I studied in this university. I have an MBA. I have a postgrad. I deserve this position, and I request this and that. The others might not have the qualifications, but they have the attitude. I can do it. I will learn it. I will is what will live better in this world that they cannot predict it, that they need to learn how to play a new game, 5 minutes changing it.
Absolutely.
Does it make sense?
That absolutely makes sense to me. I always believe in the human potential is unlimited. As long as we have the growth mindset, and then so that and the willingness to explore and learn, and then definitely we will continue to grow. Disregarding how what the background we are having or how old we are and stuff like that. But and Felicio. So basically, if in this Banny world, right, there was a talk that you mentioned earlier also about listening, but then you feel, you know, would listening be helpful for if we have the better skills in listening? Would it be helpful for the people to get to get over the Banny world, in easier way? You think?
Look, I believe the listening is related to these soft skills of this emotional intelligence. If you come to talk to your boss and you notice that he's not paying attention to you, you will not come again to talk. If you feel that he's giving you an answer that is ready made, that he's not even waiting you to finish to talk, you start getting demotivated. And to keep the employees engaged, to keep any human being engaged in any type of relationship, you need to listen, not only hear. So you can hear a word, a parrot can hear and even repeat what the person said. But to really listen, to understand, to read between the lines, to read the body language. Maybe the person don't even say everything, but you are there, paying attention. You get the heart, the soul of the person, and they will work hard for you because they feel my boss cared for me, my husband cared for me, my friend cared for me. He spent his time, that is very valuable. There is even a good movie called How Much Time the Time Has, or something like that. And what is time for you? Some say time is money, time is life. You cannot leave it again the minute that has just passed. So if you are giving 5 minutes of your attention to someone. Be there, be present. Give 5 minutes of your attention. I'm not saying that you need to be a superhero to know the answer. Sometimes only listening is what the person needs to put out something. So there is a good video from Simon Sinek, that another guy that I like a lot, about listening and hearing, because and talking about trust as well. If you listen carefully, you build trust. If you only hear and say things that are already ready-made, or people feel that it's not for me, he's talking to the audience, or he is just repeating a book, then you don't get the trust that is needed. Even more now, because you had some people that use it to control if the employees were working, because they were seeing them in the office, or everybody's in the computer. How do you control everybody in their houses? And do we need to control? Shouldn't we invest our time to have a purpose in our company that everybody believes? Shouldn't we have the inverted pyramid, where the leader is not in the top, the leader is in the bottom, is the servant leader? I'm here to facilitate your job, not to be pleased, not for you to come and serve me. It's the other way around. You are the frontliners. The top of the pyramid is an inverted pyramid. And then you have the leader here. I'm looking to everybody. What can I help? You can come here and count on my support. I will facilitate your job. I cannot do your job. That's why I'm here. So, in my view, the future leadership, and even in the past, I always liked servant leaders rather than those that were giving command and control. I didn't like it. And the youngster now, the millennials, they don't like either. So they would prefer not to work for your company. And most of them are hired by the hard skill, but they are fired because of the soft skills, because they don't have. So 91%, this is a research from Michael Page, 91% of the leaders are hired because of the hard skills, but they are fired because of the soft skills, the lack of soft skills.
Well,
does it make sense for you?
Yes, it makes sense a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the system is not right. It's time it also under the Benny world or the vocal world, or move to the Benny world. I think it's a good time for, like you said before, for even leaders to learn, unlearn, and relearn fast, right? But then, in my opinion, all the leaders have, majority of them, let's say majority of them had the legacy, through the old tradition, that, how they grow the ladder based on the principles.
The old school.
Yes. So the unlearn is not something easy. And then under the Benny word, the relearning is even harder for them, especially those you say that want to be a servant leadership, right? Servant leader. Uh, Now you're serving the massive. You're serving 100,000 people, 10,000 people, 1,000 people, right? So and then besides that, you have a lot more, priorities, for financial obligation for the company, other things to achieve, right? So I really want to bring back the question that Vivian was planning to ask at the beginning, because um, in this kind of changing, and besides the emotional intelligence, besides what else? What do the leader? How can we help the leader? To succeed in their roles. Because I think that employees like us, we also need to take part onto this journey to help our boss, our managers, our leaders to succeed also. So any kind of advice from you to the people like us?
Look, I always believe that a leader is not the boss. You can be a leader even not having any employee. You can be an informal leader. You can be someone that promotes the change, bringing positive attitude, bringing ideas, not only problems. You can influence your leader. You can influence others, peers, in a good position. You can do what you feel that is the best in your own yard. And then when they start seeing that your flowers are blooming, so they will come. What are you doing different? Oh, I'm treating others better. I'm using the servant leadership. I'm giving autonomy. I'm delegating with authority. I have trust in my team. I am not a superman. I am vulnerable. And my team knows that, and they help me because of that, because I don't pretend to be. So you can start in your own yard, in your own bit. If you have a boss that is open to listen, you can influence. If your top team or if your peers start seeing, oh, he's giving great results. People are not stressing out. They are not working 24 hours and they are delivering the numbers, because to deliver the number is important. I'm not saying that it should be a social club, everybody happy and happy bunny. No, the company exists to deliver its target. So, but if you share that responsibility with your team, with the company, if everybody knows that they have an impact in the result, that they are important. Like recently, I posted a video about Formula One, and you can imagine, oh, the driver is the most important one. No, everybody is important. Because in a race, if the mechanic that changes a tire, he doesn't do the work well, all the great work from the driver, the engineers, the car, is useless. He lost there 20 seconds instead of losing 2 seconds to change the tire. So everybody in a company plays a role, regardless the position. And they need to understand that. So when I talk about servant leadership, yes, you might have an organization with 50,000 employees. For sure, the boss, the CEO, cannot touch 50,000, but he can touch 10 of his direct reports. And he can be the role model for this 10. And ask this 10, you should be for your direct report the same. You should have the same attitude. You should implement the same thing. So from 10, now you have 100. And then from this 100, you reach 1,000. So it's the principle should be starting from the top. But you are right. Old school might be difficult for them to change, to unlearn, because they might think this has worked in the past. But I started to see now that people, even these old schools, starting to look, wow, why people are resigning if the salary is good, if I am paying well, and then someone is bringing, or the HR director, or some more heads of functions that has more openness, and say, because they are stressed out, because they cannot continue working the same as used to be. We cannot only control, punish, and put a carrot. This is not. We, as a company, we needed to change. If you wanted to survive, exist for another 100 years, we need to bring a purpose. Lots of them, they will only work if the company has a purpose. They will only work if the company respects the environmental, the social, the governance, the ESG. And it's not only for shareholders. It's because they are a generation that a green world or a green mindset is important. So if the old boss, old school boss don't change, maybe this is the brittle part that company might fail, might break, because maybe not because they don't have a good product, they will not have employees willing to work for any amount of money that they offer, because it's not money anymore. When I said, when I was young, you asked me, it was easier to follow a path. Now, this world, you don't know what's the path. That's why I said, if you know where you are, who you are, are your strengths, and you have an idea where I want to be in 5, 10 years time. And it can change because maybe you did not have planned to have kids. Then a kid appear and then you need to change. I use it to have an ambition to travel the world in 10 years time. But now my priority has changed. It is the university for my son. It's fine to change. I'm not saying that you are writing a plan in stone, but it's impossible to predict the path because in the past you used to have more or less two or three. Either you work for the government, either you work for the private company, or you go to one army or air force. So those are the three main things 30 years ago. Now it's not like that. You can work for a big company, you can work for a startup, you can open your own business, you can work from home, you name it. There is not only one thing to do. So that's why I don't think you need to know which path to follow. You need to know where I am, where I want to be. And the path will appear. And then you choose. I like this one. And there's no problem to change. I started working as an engineer. 3 years, I said, this is not for me. And then I moved to marketing. I have a friend that worked 25 years as a lawyer, and he was not happy. And then he decided to become a chef and open his restaurant. He's getting much less money than as a lawyer, but he's happier. And what do you want in life? Is only money? Is only assets? No. And the pandemic has proven to him that he's happier. Where despite the challenges, he feels fulfilled. So I think these kids or these millennials, they are asking more of these intangible things than I in the past. In the past, I was looking for the salary and benefits and a career. Some of them, they worry about career. They worry, am I happy today? Am I getting money today? Am I fulfilling my needs? Is this company doing a good for the world?
I think Felicio, thank you very much for sharing that point. I think with the pandemic, it's also coming with some blessing for a lot of people because now we know what to value in our lives, and I think it happens to organizations and business leaders too. A slowdown now for them to rethink of what had been done in the past, and then for replan for the future organization where the culture we have built up, to see the person as a whole instead of seeing the person in the way that been done in the past. And I look forward to see many good change coming in the future, and I'm sure that will happen because, like you say, the business leaders and then the business and exist because of they want to be existing for a long time, be successful, right? They have to find ways, and we human beings are good at finding way to solve the problems, and and together we can. So I really enjoy what you do in your shows, and I wish you all the best with whatever you do, and then from between there, if anything that we can be assisting for you and your people, let us know, Felicio, so that we can be joining and support with the change. We want to bring the positive to the world as much as we possibly can. Right?
Yes, again, you need to find your purpose as well. I talked about the company, but it's good that each of us has a bigger purpose. And again, shouldn't be only material. Shouldn't be, I want a yacht, I want to have a house, a penthouse, or this. This is nice as well to have. But what impact can you bring to other lives? What change can you bring to make a better world? And this is priceless. Like you cannot. The amount of people that write to me, oh, I liked your video, I changed it, I started doing this. I haven't thought about that. is better sometimes than the bonus that I used to get when I had a good year in the company. I'm not saying that I don't like money, but you feel fulfilled. You feel
Yes.
that I touched a life, I touched someone that will make an impact in the family. That's why I believe that when I started this channel, Leaders Talk, I wanted to impact as many people possible to make them better person and better leaders. Because in my career, I had great leaders, but I had others that they were only bosses. They were only there because of the hierarchy. And I saw people panicking, crying, resigning, and I said, this is not. We spend most of our time at work. We need to enjoy it. And we can get results with happy people, fulfilled people, engaged employees much better than those that are stressed, that
Yes.
are with a boss that has a baton and a stick and go there. Yes, they can deliver, but at what price? Do they
Yes.
leave a bloody of corpses in the way? That's not good. That's not sustainable. So I want to change. I see that you are trying to do yourself promoting this as well with your channel. I like to see you with your kids, family. This is important. We needed to have the life is not only work. You
Yes.
needed to have the whole body, mind, spirit, family, friends, and work. Work is only one part of the equation for
Mm.
happiness or for fulfillment. And I like what you are doing, and I follow you as well. I see that you are improving, you are getting better, nice thumbnails and nice work. I like what you are doing, promoting positiveness to the world as well, to Vietnam. You can count on me. You can write. You have my WhatsApp, Viviane as well if you need it, Vivian as well if you need something. I will share with you these some videos from TED Talk, like Brené Brown about vulnerability, the Simon Sinek about listening, hearing, and about trust as well. And I will send the test, this via character strength that
Mm.
you can do. You two can share with each others and see, like, this strength here, I need to improve a bit. Can you help me? And then you work together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and Felicio. I, I and Vivian really appreciate your time today, and I hope that one day, by some chance, we will be seeing each other in person. That would be so lovely. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Again, who knows? The world is very small. It became a
Yes.
little bit of the pandemic, but I love it to travel. I've been to Vietnam, I mentioned to you. I've been
Yes.
to Da Nang.
You've been to my
Uh,
hometown.
yeah.
Yes.
And I visited a place. I will send you a picture of the place. That is the city of lights. That there have the lamps. I forgot the name. I have it here. I will forward to you the picture
Sure,
right away.
sure. Yes, I show Vivian the photo that you had when you were in Cuba also.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Please say our best regards to your family. Stay healthy, be safe, and then keep doing
Let's keep
the
in touch.
wonderful works you do, and then we'll be following you continually.
Okay. Good, good. Good night
Yes.
to you all.
Okay.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.